Hello, my name is Jake, and welcome back to Greta Van Yeet, which is a name I still don't love, but if I just stop telling you that, it'll just become normal. And as you can see today, we are going to be ranking every Greta Van Fleet song. Now, not really every Greta Van Fleet song. I didn't want to make this video 2 hours, which it might still end up being. So I limited myself to what is available on Spotify today. I'm certain there will be updates to this list. Not only will it change, new music will come out. I'll be there for it. You know I will. But I wanted to set the stage. Yes, I took the Spotify library. It was a simple, neat place. My hope is a lot of people who are starting to get into this band can jump on Spotify, listen to a few of my favorites, find your own favorites. Was a lot of fun, and ranking this is interesting because it's changed a lot. I actually started working on this about it's probably been over 2 months ago. I listened to everything. I made a list, and a lot of tweaks have happened since then. I have seen the band since I made that first list. There were a few songs that rocketed way up, having seen them play them live. It's been a lot of fun to see my own personal preferences evolve in the music. And I do want to note I'm not interested in arguing, but I absolutely want to hear where you think I am wrong or right, and maybe less wrong and right. I want to hear what your favorite songs are. I want to hear what you think is too high and too low. Absolutely let me know if I should be giving something a different listen. I'm here for that, but we're not going to argue about it. Everyone is experiencing music differently. We're all going to have different opinions. That's okay. That's life. That's being human. So let's talk about it. I'm not going to fight you if that's what you're looking for, which I assume none of you are, but just know that. The last piece before we jump into the list, the artwork is AI generated, but it is fucking cool. This piece obviously is AI generated. You can really see that while every Greta Van Fleet song ranked came out fantastic. It even came up with a logo there that's actually pretty sweet. You'll note the text below it is pure gibberish. That is AI Art 101. But this is a gorgeous piece that it spit out. So what I did is I have that AI tool. I went to the art generation piece and I did two things. I gave it the album cover for that song just to give it a frame. I basically told it, hey, here's a color scheme, a theme that you can use. And then I said, generate me an image based off of the lyrics. So some of those, it's very obvious. Some of those get very cosmic and ridiculous, but absolutely came out with some ridiculous artwork that serves as the background today. And I'm very excited that's going to be a part of this. So let's get into the list. There are 42 songs, so I'm going to try and be quick. But again, no promises. I want to talk about them. This one will be short, however. Number 42 on the list is Cheating, and I acknowledge it, and I don't care. When I took the Spotify library, there were actually two songs that jumped out as the possible last place. This one was the obvious choice, and for those who are not diehard obsessive freaks like myself, there are two versions of this song. Now they put this one in the middle of the album on Spotify. The record, the full song is generally there if you're listening somewhere else, and it's at the end of the album like a bonus track. That is bullshit. This is a version of the song you shouldn't bother listening to. It's better than listening to a lot of things, but I'm getting really fired up about this. This feels like the record label saying, hey, you can't put a 6-minute song, 7-minute song in the middle, which is very confusing. The first song on the album is that I don't know. I don't know what happened or why. The Lover Lever, it's fine, but it is half of the song. So it gets to sit in last place. You will see the full version, I believe, in the teens. No spoilers. But acknowledging that this was cheating, and I probably won't even have this song on the list next time, I did still have to pick something to be at the bottom. This is not the second song I was talking about. That song actually is much higher up in the list than I would have thought, and I'll make sure we call that out. But Meat on the Ledges is the bottom of the list for me. Funnily enough, I only recently realized this is a cover. And there are two covers on this From the Fire album, and this is the one I enjoy less. The artwork came out gorgeous, but it's just hard to get excited. And we're going to skip to A Change Is Gonna Come now as well. Meat on the Ledge is good. I will listen to it every time I listen to this album. A Change Is Gonna Come is one of the greatest songs ever written. And for that reason, it just doesn't feel that necessary. Even when my favorite band did that cover, I still don't feel like it's a cover I've ever needed or wanted. And one of the things that I've found as I'm looking through this is, what are the parts that hook me? Like, what do I listen for every time I listen to a song, or what's the piece that just keeps playing in my head over and over again? Like, every song has something with just that pinch of iconic, music or lyrics to it, and that is one of the reasons this ended up at the bottom for me. I think the power, the high piece of these two songs is the lyrics, and they are not Greta Van Fleet lyrics. So they sit at the bottom. The first original at number 39, we have Brave New World. And this is a very good song. And even now, still, I'm kind of surprised it ended up here. Something had to, because this has a couple of really cool parts in it. There's a bridge where Josh is singing over it. It is so, so good. I'm going to listen through this to hear that solo every time, but this isn't one of the more standouts on this track. And if I have not qualified this yet, I love every song. I would listen to these 42 songs over almost anything, anytime, but we had to put them in order. At number 38, we have another song from Anthem of the Peaceful Army. And this one feels like it just got the the short straw by being the fourth song on the record. There are some incredible parts into this. There's a guitar solo in the middle that is so raw. I love that guitar solo. The tone in that guitar is so good. And that said, being fourth is rough. Like, when you listen to this album, the first song is one of their iconic songs. It's the highest ranking song off this album, I'll tell you right now. The second song is a sneaky banger. The third song is When the Curtain Falls, the big single off of this album. And then you get Watching Over, and then you get Lover, Leaver, Taker, Believer, which is again one of their iconic songs. It just feels like in that first five songs, this is the breather. Like, this is the catch your breath. Just enjoy it, just kick back and listen, but it is not just that constant high energy, high excitement that you get in some of the other songs. I still like it a lot. At number 37, we have a bit of a unique song. This is one that, man, this moved up and down the list constantly because I really do enjoy this song. But you'll note this is off of a movie soundtrack. It does not fit into an album. And I feel like that hurt it a bit. And yet, there's still some charm to it. Like, this song has a very cinematic sound and feel. I totally get why it would be appropriate in a movie soundtrack, although I haven't seen the movie. I'm obsessed. I'll probably see it just because they have a song in it. It is still rocking, but it has a little bit of a different feeling. I hope someday they bust this out, they play it live. I also think the artwork here is phenomenal. But while it gets that charm, I do feel like it not having a part in the album, I listen to it less. It just it's it's just not the same when it's not in an album. So always there at number 37. Yes, you should still listen to it. At number 36, we land on Talk on the Street. A good song, but you'll see, and the next song fits into this category as well. A little quick history lesson. So when Greta Van Fleet came out, they had four songs that they kind of blew up with. Those four songs are on this From the Fires EP, but they had an original EP called Black Smoke Rising. They put out this like double EP album, I don't know what you call it. They added four songs. The two covers we've seen, Talk on the Streets, and the next song, Edge of Darkness. They feel like they were kind of quick whip ups in the studio almost. They just do not stack up with the greatness of those four songs that I think the band had spent years and years writing and perfecting. And they weren't at that point where they could could get a vision for a song and perfect it in a short time. So the original From the Fires EP, those first 4 songs are a little bit low. This does have a fantastic solo. It's not near as good as Edge of Darkness, and this is a song that I fell in love with when I watched the live version. There is a live in Toronto from this era where it's a 9-minute version of the song. Jake solos for like 6 minutes. That is awesome. It is powerful. I love that. This song has a lot more going on than I initially thought. That bass line just kicking throughout. It's amazing. Lyrically, the themes lyrically are very interesting, and I love this setup. They do this with a few songs where like the lyrics really kind of send you into deep thought. They don't kind of send you into deep thought. They send you into deep thought, and then they finish it off with a guitar solo. And man, when you're really listening and your mind's just thinking about the interesting things he says, and then he finishes with this ripper solo, and you just think about life, there's some magic there. And listen to me talk about this song and glow about this song, and we're on number 35. That solo rips. I love this song. It's crazy that it's this low, and it just shows you how much I love what's ahead. Now, at number 34, we have The New Day, which is just a fun song. This is a total Danny gem, too. Danny, the drummer, for those of you who don't know, he has some fills. There's this upbeat, fun style, and he kills it there. He's not overplaying. He's keeping it very light and matches the tone. This is one I underrated before this exercise. I would have bet that this would have been looking at that very, very high 30s, 40s number initially. There are better songs on this album, absolutely, obviously. But what I thought was a cellar dweller is now a song that I really enjoy. It's a lot of fun, simple, happy song. It's one that I like a lot. Now, we're not going to advance yet, and I'm going to apologize. And even I question if this is too low for this song. This is going to be the first one that makes you mad if you're a fan. Maybe the most upsetting one on the list. I have Anthem at number 33. I would wager there is a fair amount of people would say Anthem is number 1, if not in the top 5. Artwork came out beautiful. This song lyrically is just a masterclass. Oh my God, it is just an explanation of life, and I love that. And maybe it's just my frame of mind lately. I want that hard rock. I want that intensity. I want that, oh man, psychedelic feel almost. And this is so simple. It's so stripped down, but it is so good. Uh, it would surprise me. What's funny is I assume after they put out a new album, I will make a new list. I would suspect this will go up even with new songs in the mix. Don't ask me. This is just where my mood's been lately. I love this song. It is a fantastic closer to the album. I will listen to it thousands of times in my life, no question. It just didn't speak to me as I listened through this list. It other songs just kind of outshine it with the energy. And maybe that's just my mood lately. At number 32, and an art piece that I like a lot, and pretty self-explanatory, is Mountain of the Sun. Another song from that middle stretch of the Peaceful Army. And man, the slide guitar in this is so sick. When the full band kicks in after that introduction, like you just kind of get the warm fuzzies. This is a track that absolutely will get overlooked if you were going to make a list like this, and I still have it in the 30s. And there is just this song has actually been really catching me lately. I suspect in 2-3 weeks it would probably be higher on the list. There's a bridge that is just super stripped down, tambourine, bongos, and Josh, it just sounds like he's singing alone in the sun. I don't know how else to describe it. It is just happy. It is uplifting. Like it is a song that you could just put on repeat sitting on the beach and just feel great. Now at number 31, this song was the song I was certain was going to be in last place. And for those of you who don't know it, it is 1 minute and 30 seconds. Like that alone, I was like, it's too short. It's not going to make the list. They played this at the festival in Arizona, and they played it in a way that just really opened my mind up to the genius of it. And I started giving it more of a chance. They played Highway Tune, unquestionably their most famous song, and then they just snuck this into the middle of it, and then they went back and finished Highway Tune, and it's Runway Blues. We're in Arizona. It's beautiful out. Concert's amazing. Planes are literally flying overhead. And I'm like, they wrote a song. They could literally slip into the middle of any song, and it's cool. I also kind of have really grown to enjoy the lyrics here. The title says it all, Runway Blues. Like, it is about sadness and the tough times of traveling. And yet you listen to the song, it is so upbeat. It sounds so happy. And I think that's intentional. It's like, yes, traveling around sucks. Skidding on a plane, landing on one coast, flying to the other, like doing that constantly sucks. It's not fun, but who cares? Like, we're living the dream. Don't let the low points that take you to the high points stick in your mind. Don't let them make you sad. Like, enjoy the journey. It's a cool song, and I feel like it's that deep cut that they'll bust out for the real fans on occasion, and that is cool. I like this song. All right. Moving on to number 30. We land on My Way Soon, which is the first track off of, well, it is the first track in the list off of the Battle of Gardens Gate. The second track on this album, and I think that's impactful. This song almost sounds out of place on this record. This is their third record. It sounds a lot more like like a track that would fit on Anthem of the Peaceful Army, the album before, but I love that it's here. Like, it is the second song of the album after Heat Above, which you will not see for a very long time in this list, which is this huge epic song. Amazing, amazing fucking song. And then the second song is nothing like it. It's just this classic rock feel. And they do this often. I feel like the first song is this big epic. The second song is a complete change. And I feel like that is a message of, like, there's no music in a box here. No album is going to sound the same start to finish. They just take the inspiration. They will change styles song to song, album to album, and they can put it in anywhere it works. One thing I'll note here as well, the album cover simple black and gold. It led to some of my favorite art pieces. You will see a lot of black and gold themes on those. So this is a good song. It still ends up lower down on the list for me than anything else in Gardens Gate. Ironically, at number 29, and I'm seeing number 28 is also a song with cold themes. Ironically, this is the second song in Anthem of the Peaceful Army, so I found it funny that they wound up there together. And there's that similar feel. There's this grand epic intro, and then the second song is like, hey, that's not what this whole album is. Like, we're going to do whatever we want. And this song, man, just kicks me in the face every time. Like, it holds a special place in my heart because I've watched the Red Rock show a ton. This is the opener for that. When I hear this on the album, I think Safari Song's coming next because I've watched that so much. It is a perfect song to open a live show with. It just kicks off, explosive song, a lot of fun, and the lyrics are cool. They have this line that I think of all the time, and probably out of context. They say, "Leave the children snug as the wagon rolls on. When the cold wind blows, most of them will be gone." And I'm like, well, one, that's dark, but I also just think of that second line, and like, they've put in so much work, like they've perfected their craft. How many people have tried to get to places where they are? How many people will turn their nose up at a band who is phenomenal because they don't think it's real? This asshole did it. Uh, the pretenders, the fakers, like, the cold wind will blow and they won't be around. Whacked the mic first time today. Probably gonna need a different stand. All right. So the cold wind, love that song. This was not planned. I did not recognize this until I saw them on the screen together. At number 28 is the Frozen Light, which is the first full song. Like, it's Runway Blues is there. It is a song, obviously, but it just doesn't fit into these grand songs that are on this Starcatcher album. Frozen light, gets overlooked, and I think it's a very, very good song. When I saw them for the first time and the second time, they were playing this before going to the acoustic stage shortly after they replaced it with Highway Tune. And fair enough, like I do have this as the lowest other than Runway. Like I get why they would take it out of the set, but man, I hated it at the time. Now I've seen Highway Tune since. Highway Tune was below this, shot over it since I saw it. But there's this riff is so sweet and so simple. This is one of the first songs I learned to play on both guitar and bass by them. It is a banger, and this song just has this kick-ass drums, kick-ass bass, and kind of just builds up to the end where there's an epic guitar solo. I'm super glad I got to see them play this a couple of times before they started bringing in stuff from the other album to this tour. Number 27, maybe controversy to some of you, is Safari Song. And this is the first song of those 4 OG tracks I talked about. And this is a very simple, very cool song. The guitar doesn't do anything absolutely nuts. Now there's plenty of shit I couldn't do in there, but it's not like it's Jake's guitar masterclass. Like it's just simple, but it's what they built that classic rock reputation on. The lyrics are easygoing. It's a lot of fun. The art piece that came out of this is super cool. Like if you are starting to listen to this band because you love classic rock, I suggest you start right here. And I'll also note this does feel like a step up in tiers of songs. Not that I really want to give them letter grades, so to say, but like there are a couple of D songs, uh, a lot of C songs, and this is in the catalog of Greta Van Fleet. They're all A songs when you look at the shit that is on the radio now. But this is where we get into those like B songs, which are some of the greatest songs in the last 10 years, in my opinion. But they have so many that Safari Song ends up uh, probably way too low at 27. At number 26 is one of the stretches that I love that I don't think gets a lot of attention. This is kind of that middle to end of the battle at Gardens Gate. And Caravel is so sweet. Like it's again simple lyrically, it's pretty straightforward, but musically this song is so gnarly and wicked. Like it almost makes it feel like an obscure song. And this is one that I just feel is almost too low for me personally. There's that bridge that's just, oh man, that I'm gonna try not to sing too much, but that little bridge that then goes into the outro, like they play a few times, that is so sweet. I love that. And then we're going on a Gardens Gate run here. Not really. But the next song is also off of Gardens Gate. It is Tears of Rain. And again, it hurts to see this at 25 because this song has such an epic, soulful feel to it. It just builds and builds and builds, and then has this grand finale. Oh man, it is so good. Instrumentally, it is simpler than a lot of other ones, but that soulful ending, like never skip this song. Get to that end, you will never be unhappy. Josh's voice in this is just massive, and I'm literally getting chills right now thinking about it. Man, this is I think one of his most passionate sounding songs in the way he sings it, and it just has that explosive ending that is absolutely amazing. At number 24 is Farewell for Now, and this is one of the hardest songs to rank for me. I do like this artwork, by the way. It's very interesting, but there's a little bit of sadness in this song. This is the song that they end their show with. This song is literally a love letter to the fans, and Farewell for Now, like when you see them play it live, it is the perfect song. Like they've just blown your mind for 2.5 hours. They say goodbye. They say this has all been for you. They tell you they love you. Like you can't beat it at the end of a set. It's also the end of the album, and you get that a little bit. But like if you just turn on their music, if you're just shuffling it or you're making a list, like that feeling isn't there all the time. You know, if you're listening on shuffle and this comes up, like, yes, it's a great song, but you're also not saying farewell to them. It feels like it was written for such a specific moment in time that while it is perfect there, the rest of the time it just doesn't carry that weight and meaning. Needed some water. And funnily enough, this has been my wife's favorite song for a little bit now. I did note there was a time where she hated this band. Uh, we turned her around on it. By we, I mean me, just relentlessly making her listen to it all the time. And she really loves this song, so I'm super excited when we see them in Austin, which is a month from today. Oh my God, it's a month from today. I looked at my own face on the screen to see how excited I was. It is a month from today. This song at the end is again, it's going to be perfect. That's going to be a fun night. Really looking forward to that one. And then at number 23, yes, I have You're the One Down Here. And this is going to be another one that at least one person, if not several, is going to go in and say, what the hell are you talking about? That's way too low. I think this is a very, very good song. This is just a classic. It's going to hook you. It shows their versatility. It shows their ability to strip down and play acoustic. There are some live performances that are good, and hearing him solo on the acoustic is so awesome. But, and I'm talking with my hands too much, but there's an overrated piece of this song, and I do love it. But they played this on Saturday Night Live in 2019, and some of the fans that I follow, some of the things that I watch, talk about it like it's one of the greatest performances ever. And like, yes, Greta Van Fleet was on Saturday Night Live. That in itself is absolutely iconic. The performance is good. The Saturday Night Live sound quality is kind of weak, and I just feel like there are a significant amount of live performances you could go listen to right now better than that one. And maybe it's that feeling that drove this a little bit lower, but obviously still love the song. Again, if you're a big classic rock fan, this is one of the places you should start. You're the One is so good. Artwork is gorgeous. Uh, and then we hit number 22, Sacred the Thread. We're halfway there, and I hope we keep this under an hour. I've talked about my least favorite songs for half an hour, which, note, are my favorite songs still. This is a good song. I love this song. Uh, it comes down the list a little bit for me because it's again kind of follows a huge epic song in the Falling Sky on the album, and it again is another one of those that I feel like it's a breather. The vocal themes are super cool. The lyrical themes are super cool. It feels right at number 22, but for those of you who are listening to this or new here, Josh has said as much and said as much in a live video that this is a song he wrote about his jumpsuits. And when he just talks about, he's caught the wind in, and starts talking about in the seams, in the threads, like it is cool. Like it is an acknowledgement of like, hey, I get to dress up and show my weirdest self, and like the wind has just caught that. Like this huge fan base has caught it and is just carrying me on the wind. It's a cool song. I like this song a ton. It's at number 22 for me. All right, we're halfway there. Now a word from our sponsor. All right, obviously there's not a sponsor. I'm just using a free software that cut me off at 30 minutes. 3-year-old, no puke, still asleep. Cute as ever. I snuck a picture of him. There it is. Wife, sawn logs. We're powering on. There was a real concern that this was going to be something I'd have to get out of the flow and then maybe re-record. No, we're on. We're on to number 21. It's Highway Tune. Now, I like Highway Tune a lot. This song was really low, like embarrassingly low for me before I saw them play it at Innings Festival. And I take no responsibility. It's because the world grossly overplayed this song. Grossly overplayed this song. Back in 2017, it's the first song you hear by them. It has this explosive beginning of Josh just letting it rip. And that is amazing. And it's still amazing. And it's amazing to see it live. But goddamn, if every car commercial under the sun didn't have this song as like the truck bed was drifting across the dirt. Like, oh, it was too much. And until I saw it live, I kind of forgot how great it was. Now, it's not the best of the OG4. It is the most famous. It's the most used. It does play nicely in a commercial, but it's a fast pace. It's an exciting song. Like, you should definitely listen to it if you're starting to get into the band. Uh, it gets the crowd bumping, but I've just heard it so much that then I'm like, play other stuff live. I'm going to listen to other songs, even on this EP. I'm going to listen to other stuff. Doesn't mean I don't like it. There is more that I like out there, though. At number 20, we have Broken Bells, and this is one of those where that black and gold theme just comes out and made phenomenal artwork. Although I will note, for the most part, most of these bells are not broken. Get your shit together, AI. The guitar tone in this song, phenomenal. This is such a cool song. And it has this simple side, but it has this simple and yet amazing guitar solo with that just rich tone. The acoustic performance from Jake as well. I think this is one of his best. And this is a song that I love because as I venture out to see them every time I can, they could play this in any set list. They could play it completely acoustic, completely electric. Like, it's a very flexible song, and however they want to play it, it is going to be fantastic. At number 19, we have Stardust Chords. And this was one of my very first favorite songs of theirs. It just has this epic, spacey feel to it. And I loved it shortly after I saw them. It was when I was listening to the most. The sleeping 3-year-old really likes this song. He will sing along with it and also give you a nice guh for those huge drums in the beginning. Very cute. Not the reason it's high on this list. It's a phenomenal song. I love this song. I've listened to this probably more than most songs on here. It just makes you want to march around the room and yell the lyrics along. Like, that guitar riff is just this like anthem sounding piece. And also, I found it hilarious that when I was listening through this list, this song has a lyric reference. It says "Sound of Broken Bells," and this followed Broken Bells, which I found to be interesting and funny. And again, that black and gold. And we're keeping with the black and gold with Age of Machine. This might be my favorite art piece that we're going to see today. And what's funny is Stardust was one of my first favorites. This was one of the last songs that I really caught on to. Like, as I learned the library, this was my least favorite on this album for a very long time. And I feel like it was just because I was so happy, I was so into it, I was so excited that I just wasn't in the headspace to hear this kind of darker song and really appreciate it. But man, once I heard it and caught the vision, super powerful. Like, the intro is this very foreboding piece, and Josh is in the background, just singing, just this huge intro that then explodes. It is a damn good song, and lyrically, this song is maybe their best. Well, I have a favorite lyrically. It's in about 5 spots, but this song, it's funny. It's a perfect example. I talked about not believing that rock and roll could exist in this day and age. This song could not exist outside of this world. It just hits on how plugged in we are, how technology dependent we are, how fucking gross it is. And man, it in the right mood, like, it'll make you reevaluate how much you are staring at screens. Even if when you're staring at screens, it's to talk about a song that tells you shouldn't be staring at screens. That line, "Perfect child plugged in since the womb." Woo! Like obviously that was a huge part of the art that came out here. But the image is like slightly disturbing, and I think that we should recognize that. And then at number 17, we get When the Curtain Falls. And man, this song is so good. And this album starts so strong. And this is one of the two songs that I listen to as a casual fan. I love the way the image came out fairly different, because this is a very different song for them. Like lyrically, it is a departure from a lot of the themes, because it kind of is just shitting on the entertainment industry, which is funny because they're obviously a part of it, but they are our talent, they are hard work, they are loving what they do, loving their fans. And it kind of shits on how like you can get that fame, you can get that attention without that. Like, that shit won't last. Like people will see what you are, they will kick you to the curb and move on to somebody else. That theme of this song is rad. This music video is super good, especially like the song slows down a little bit before this huge ending, and like the sun goes down. Well, it goes into an eclipse, if we're gonna get technical about it. Like it gets dark, they kind of start doing these 3D effects. uh, it's a good song, and you should go watch that video. It has a little bit of like aggressiveness to it, but man, anyone can pick up this song and love it. All right, at number 16, Trip the Light Fantastic. And this song is the one I would call the most fun song in their library. Lyrically, it is just this cosmic masterpiece, and I thought it was going to generate beautiful art, and holy shit, did it. Like you look at that image, it is spot on for this song. Like it is just fun, it is space, it's a, I don't know, some rainbow road by the ocean, and some sort of futuristic castle. I don't know what the hell is happening here, but I know I love it. And that's kind of how I feel about this song. Like it's almost danceable. It's fun. This is another one that I love of Danny on the drums. Like this song's fast, and yet he's not smashing the drums. He plays it almost quietly, dainty, and it creates these elements where there's these big pieces, and there's just this explosiveness that he can just bring out, because the rest of the drums are so subtle. This is a song that I am a huge fan of. It's one that I listen to the most, and funnily enough, it's one that ditched the black and gold because the lyrical themes were too colorful to stick to black and gold. And I figured that out all on its own. It's not completely useless. Another song that is really really fun, Flower Power. Again, crushed to the artwork here. This is just like an instant classic. It is a hippie jam for the ages. It's also the first time we hear Sam on the keyboard. This is of the 4 original songs. The other ones he plays the bass. Bonus, there is still a kick-ass bass line in this song, but you get the keys, and he just shines here. And again, it's that hippie energy, very very 70s feeling, frankly, and a lot of fun. It is a good song. And I found myself skipping the outro for a long time. There's about a minute and a half of just Sam playing a very, very light, happy outro on the keys. Don't skip it. When you listen to this song, just listen to it, enjoy it, think about nature. It's a cool song, and that outro is very enjoyable if you are willing to just give a little thought to it. Now it's funny. I think those are probably the 2 most fun songs in here. We then get into this image, which is gross and terrifying, and this obviously is being the Barbarians. This, and I'm sure I've said overrated and underrated too much in this. This might be their most underrated song. This song just kicks off with a ripping guitar solo, just melt your face, punch you in the nuts. Sorry, that was kind of crass. That's how it feels. It just kicks off, and Jake is just shredding vocally. It is so powerful, and the themes of like, what in the shit are you doing sending your kids to war, like really hits hard. And came out with a very dark image of apparently a barbarian demon. I don't know. I don't like it. I kind of like it. But this song's very, very cool. This was in between seeing them in Salt Lake and Vegas. I sent this song to my brother, and literally the only thing I said, and I may have said this in the last video, is like, how the fuck did we not recognize that this band's amazing? Like, get it out of your head that they sound like, some of your favorites, your oldies, your Zeppelin comparison. Just get them out of your head. Sit down and listen to that guitar solo, and obviously that whole song. But like, come on, that is rock and roll, baby. Ah, yeah. And then we get to the callback, number 13, Lover Leaver, Taker Believer. We got a bit of a gnarlier image here, which is funny because lyrically it's pretty much the same. But you listen to the full version of this. Don't go listen to the 3-minute version. Don't let the lion corporate media tell you that you should listen to Lover Leaver. You should be listening to Lover Leaver, Taker Believer. Don't even get me started. I'm being dramatic. This is man, this song has some magic to it. I've seen them play it twice, both times 20 plus minutes, bass solo, intricate drum parts, a ton of guitar soloing. Josh disappears for 10 minutes, and Jake, who is the star of the band, just shreds. Man, this is a good song, and I say I am requiring it of you. I have no authority over you, and I'm still going to say it. I require you to listen to this song, not the other version of the song. This is also one, like I said, we're not getting into the deep catalogs, the stuff that they released before they were signed, but this song has been around from a time before they were famous, and it's wild to listen to that. Go find it on the internet. Like, it's not very good, and yet like they just hadn't found the sound yet. Like, they were writing amazing music, they hadn't quite figured out how to perform it at this point, and goddamn have they figured that out at this point, no question. At number 12, we get Fate of the Faithful. I do love the tone of this artwork. It very much matches that white silvery fill of the album, and the image is awesome. This is the first song on Starcatcher, which I will own is my favorite album. And it's difficult to rank what is left on this album because there are so many great songs. Seeing this live was phenomenal. The keys from Sam are so good. The guitar solo is ridiculous. Like, it basically tells you like you're about to embark on a journey when you listen to this album, and has just a ridiculous finish. And this is, I did hint at it, this is my favorite song lyrically right now, and very clearly it puts religion in the crosshairs a bit. The line that opens the chorus, which there's not even really a chorus, but we fought for the fable and instead we burned. Like, what a powerful statement of, we're fighting for things that we don't even know if they're true. We're doing that so that we don't burn and other people don't burn. But the reality is, like, we are burning each other. We are burning ourselves. And the nice thing is, you don't just have to apply that to religion, politics, whatever opinions you feel like are necessary to fight people over. Like, goddamn, like, you believe that. That's great. You should. And don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed with you sharing your opinions, but like, don't burn your relationships over it. You fucking idiot. Man, am I angry? I'm not angry. I'm having a good time. And this song, number 11, Waited All Your Life. I looked at this song at this number and thought, am I putting this song way too high because of my personal experience? And I thought that for about 10 seconds. And then I thought, fuck no, this is my list. And I love this song. This song, as I talked about and actually put a clip into the last video, was like the moment that cemented this band for me. It is so, so good. This is another second song on the album. Ironically, following the first in the list, Like Fate of the Faithful comes out, it is gnarly. Like they are teaching you life lessons, and then you get into this acoustic, uplifting song that again feels like a love letter to the fans, and just tells you like there is no tone to the album. Like there is no constant, like there is no this is about one thing. Like it is just about their life experiences. And I said it last time, but man, when he's standing up there and he's just throwing up the arms, he's being flamboyant, and he just says, "This is what you're looking for." Like, goddamn, was he right? Hell yeah, I was looking. I waited all my life for it. And then we're cracking into the top 10. Are you ready? I'm not. Number 10, even being in the top 10, people will say The Weight of Dreams is too low. This song is epic. Perfect start to the top 10 for me. And man, you finish an album, one of, there's only 3, 4 albums. One of the greatest albums of all time, still. One of your greatest albums, with a 5-minute guitar solo. What else do I need to tell you? Like that is of the guitar gods. Shout out. But even when you take the solo away, which you can't, if you skip it, we are not friends. I'm just kidding. We can still be friends. Do you love how I was like, don't fight people over your opinions? And then I'm like, here's my opinion. We're not friends. I don't mean it. I'm trying to get the clicks. I'm all about that clickbait. There's just an intensity to this song, solo aside. The chorus of just gold mines. Can't sing. Have I mentioned that? Ooh, this song just gives me chills every time. And the image is so sweet of just this withered old man with a skull on a pile of gold. I don't know. It's cool. I also really love this song as like it's ridiculous this band exists in 2024. I don't know how to explain it. This song on the album is 9 minutes. Over half of that's guitar solo. You can go out and watch videos of this live today, and like they'll walk into a festival where I'm sure 90% of the people are not their fans, and they'll play this song in solo for 12 minutes because fuck you, they're gonna do what they want. It's rock and roll. Like they're not gonna not guitar solo. So don't come at me and say there's too much guitar solo in any show, in any song. I don't accept it. God, I need to chill. Good thing there are some lighter songs coming up. Number 9, Black Smoke Rising. I think this is the best song off of From the Fires. Obviously, it is ranked as the best song off of From the Fires. This is a sick song. The guitar, the bass, iconic. There's this very psychedelic bridge that slows down, and Josh just screams over when they play it live. Like I swear he will sing a note for 2 minutes straight. And this is one that they show that versatility with. I've seen them play it completely acoustic twice, the whole band singing along. It's very magical. And I've seen them play it electric, and it is a banger. I do believe this is the song they have played the most live. And man, like this is a stupid exercise. This is one of my favorite songs ever. It's at number 9. I love this. They should play this in pretty much every set because they can make it fit any style, anywhere. It is such a cool song. Just that beginning intro just gets me super pumped. And then this is one of my favorite art pieces, Age of Man at number 8. This is the top song off of Anthem of the Peaceful Army for me. It is the opener. I actually flipped this in Black Smoke Rising about a dozen times. But this is just such an epic song. And it does take me back to like with that love Led Zeppelin that I had when I was young. Like you listen to a few of those songs, your Stairway, your Cashmere, and it's like you take that to a radio station, they tell you no way. And I'm certain that clearly the record label made them put out. I don't know. Maybe they did it themselves. Maybe I'm blaming people for no reason. This record has a 3-minute version of a 6-minute song, which is so stupid. Well, we've talked about it, but this is again another 6+ minute song. It's the first song on the album, and they're just like, hey, it doesn't matter how long it is. I don't care if you think it's too long. Like this song needs to be this long. It is this epic. It has this super powerful message. It's the best song on this album. The artwork with this tree of life fill is just beautiful. Like it is the story of us. And I love this song so much. The keys are so good. The bass line, which he plays with his feet, lyrically, like you're just in a deep, deep thought. We don't need your radio. All right, now number 7, the Indigo Streak. This might be the one that people say is way too high. Like someone's going to look at this and say, put this in the 30s, put Anthem up here. Fair enough. Love you. Appreciate that. But this is my favorite song right now. My favorite song. It's on my AirPod case. This song is such a sleeper on the album. It is a fever dream. This song is gnarly. And his chorus, where he's just screaming into the ether, it is so sick. And the real thing that just I absolutely love, and the artwork is sick, is that bass line. I'm going to say a very strong statement and say this is the best bass line I have ever heard in my life. I didn't like what he's doing is wrong. It should be illegal. You are not allowed to play that instrument like that. Don't ever stop, Sam. Man, that bass line is just back there doing whatever the hell he feels like, and he's just having a great time doing it. There are so many pieces of this song that I absolutely love. We're going to spend some more time talking about this one because it is one of my absolute favorites. Still falls at number 7. I couldn't put it over these songs, even though today it is the song I'm listening to the most. Number 6, and man, it was originally in the top 5. Built by Nations. This is an all-time guitar track. I don't care who you are. This song is so good. That riff is incredible. And not only that, but we talk about Sam on the bass again here. There's this moment that I love in this song, especially if you go watch them play it live, where Jake kicks off. He's playing this amazing guitar riff. Sam kicks in, and they're playing very much in the same lane. They're playing the same riff. Obviously, it's bass and guitar. And then the song kind of opens up, and they just go, whew. Jake is playing something. Sam is playing something completely different. Both totally epic, and somehow both of them just fit right in perfectly together. I don't know how you just get two people basically playing different songs and it comes together to be one of the greatest songs ever. The chorus is the most powerful Josh scream you'll ever feel in your life. It's one that you're just going to want to sing along to. You're going to want to yell at the top of your lungs. This song, and I generally am listening to music loud. I have never had this song come on, whether I'm listening to an album in my car or whatever. I've never not turned up the volume when this song comes on, which is the greatest endorsement I could give it. Now, it was in that top 5. So what slid in at number 5? Well, I've got to take a break because I'm only allowed to record for 30 minutes, and I'll tell you in a second. Can you handle the anticipation? I'm getting right up in that mic. Can you handle it? You want to know what's in the top 5 so bad. Honestly, if you listen to this band, you already know what's in the top 5, but you want to know. This track was the big riser. When I saw this at Inning Festival, and I'd seen them play this twice before, it was the song that we just like sang for the next 2 days. Ironically, I was just texting the Durs while I was waiting for that to export. Also ate some jelly beans because I decided it was more important to make this video than eat lunch. I'm starving. Maybe that'll make us go a little bit faster here through the top 5. Just building that anticipation. We're definitely not going to go any faster. At number 5, we get The Archer. Now, this was at like 19 or so, probably. And this was the last song that I really fell in love with on Starcatcher. But, oh my God, this song is so good. It's so intense. It's so like ridiculously hard rock that like it takes some time. There's like a feeling out period, but oh buddy, when you start to hear it, like, you will love this song. And when you see them play it live, like that chorus where Josh is just screaming. I kid you not, we went to a a fairly classy golf course the day after we saw them in Phoenix. And I'm sorry, I'm going to sing. We literally, like, golf carts would pull up next to each other. Somebody of my group of friends, none of us who could sing, would just pull up, and you just look over and you just go, "Darn it!" Like, oh, we had to have done it 100 times on this golf course. I'm sure the old timers were not impressed, but deal with it. This song, everyone in the band is so on point. The drums, especially the drums in that bridge, phenomenal. This is like the song that when you get your doctorate in Greta, you recognize how ridiculously good it is. And then when they play it live, like, they just set the fire down low. It's just kind of nice in the background, fire throughout it, and Jake just solos. And he solos and he solos and he just walks around. He solos to everyone in that room. He does it behind his head. It rips. Like, they use this song to end the set before the encore, and I think that is perfect. Like, the encore, they're going to come back, play a couple hits, and but this feels like the magical ending of just that solo. So good. This song is so amazing. It vaulted all the way up in the top 5. I hope they do not stop playing it on this tour. Like, I have to see it again. I need it. At number 4, we have what obviously I think is one of their best songs. What is probably, it isn't their most famous song. I would bet this is the most loved song by the broader fan base. If you're trying to get into this band, this might be the best place to start. This song is simpler. It is very piano driven. I wouldn't argue with anyone who put it at number 1. I just like a few of those more intense songs. But the message here, while it's very, very simple, is so powerful and magical. There is, it's funny that, like, I go back to the first songs, there is like a lack of, like, there is no absolutely epic guitar, drums, piano, bass. Like, none of that's there. But, like, the message is epic. The image kind of shows that messaging is very magical. Like, this is a song. Play it for your kids. Play it for your grandma. Like, this is a great song, and everyone will enjoy it as long as you're not an asshole like me and you're willing to give it a chance. I did sit down, like I said, and listen to all of these in order, and it's funny. This song, like, we get to the end of it, it winds down very slowly. There's just a lot of whoa singing over this outro, and, like, it ends, and it's funny. I have it at number 4. I was like, yeah, this list is done. That's the number 1 song, and I very much, like, relished in that feeling for like 10 seconds, and then it was like, oh shit, we have The Falling Sky. This is one of the best songs ever. I think this is so ridiculous. It is so rock and roll. There are so many little nuances to this song. You get to hear Sam sing in the background at the end. The lyrics are terrific. Like, this is just a murderer song, which, I don't know. Does that sound like a bad thing? It's a good thing. It murders the part of yourself that hates this band. and that's what I think of. I think of this band walking on the stage. Like, yes, they have a little bit of orchestra, overture, all that stuff. But, like, they really just walk out there and they just start playing this song. And, like, it is that huge opener. This artwork is pretty freaking wicked. And I love the line of, I don't want to lose this time. I just want to let it pass. Like, simplicity kicks into the chorus. Man, he can sing. And there's just that simple, I don't want to lose this time. I just want to, like, just enjoy the time that you've got. Don't lose it. Don't try to do too much with it. Just enjoy life as you go through it, through the ups and the downs. And then, of course, they fill it with fire. They, all that stuff. Great choices. But, man, this song, it highlights the time where I did not like this band. and it's so funny to listen to this now. So the piece that I didn't touch on in the first video is like how the critics and the talk of they're just trying to be Led Zeppelin like got to me. And I did not believe that for very long. Like it did stand out to me in the early on. It just felt like there was something lacking. We've been down that road. But I remember when this album came out, which hasn't even been a year. The first review when you Googled Greta Van Fleet Starcatcher said, Greta Van Fleet's still here. They're still trying to be Led Zeppelin. The intro to that article was, they even used a harmonica. Led Zeppelin did that. Like, they're just trying to rip them off. And like, even then, like, I didn't believe that at this point. Now, I wasn't the diehard fan I am now, but I remember listening to that and thinking, you're really comparing this song that is borderline heavy metal to When the Levee Breaks because they use the same instrument? Like, fuck you, guy. I don't know who wrote that, but I don't like you. Pull your head out. You're wrong. And I've said a lot of joking things about how angry I am. No, dude. We got a problem. You and me. Everyone else, we're cool. That guy. Come on. I don't know. Is this a podcast? Come on the podcast. Let's fight. And number two, we have Heat Above. And this was my favorite Greta song for 2 years. It's the second song that I listened to as a casual fan. And funnily enough, as I've turned a fair amount of people on to this band, this is their favorite song typically. My kid, it was probably his, which his opinions are what I make them. At this point, he's going to listen to whatever music I listen to. But he always loved Heat Above the most. He asked for it more than any song. My wife, it was her favorite for a very long time. The Durs, notably The Durs. The Durs, this is still his favorite song. And who could argue it is a great song. There's like a magic and a mysticism that kicks off this album that is so epic. And like, this band is just so in sync. Like, the guitars and the keys, it all just fits together so tight. There are a couple of moments that I love in the song. I'm going to make a video about some of the nuances of their songs that I love because I'm a super nerd. We don't have to talk about them today, but there are those parts. Like, there's a line that he says, "Can you hear that dreadful sound?" And he sings it throughout the song, and every time he just makes it sound more dreadful. That's so cool. There, the drums pound. One of the things you'll very, very quickly notice is there's a line where he says, "Hear the drums pound." And of course, the music cuts off and the drums pound. Like, I don't know. There's just this tight knit group of guys who are just perfect. Like, this song will be your favorite at some point. It was my favorite for a very long time, but it got beat. At number one, we have Meeting the Master. I wasn't sure if they would ever top Heat Above. They've done it. They'll probably top this. Who am I kidding? But it's hard to imagine them seeing this. Like, this song, the acoustic guitar, the video, the chorus, the lyrics. Goddamn. What a day to be alive. It's funny. As I was preparing this list for the very first time, and I could have told you this was going to be number one all along. The image came out wicked. As I was putting this out, or not putting this out, as I was getting the list ready, I was generating the art. Greta Van Fleet put out a series of live recordings at RCA Studio, which is where they'd recorded this album. They go back and play it live. They do it with chorus, with an orchestra. And it was a Wednesday. I'd been working on this list a little bit. I probably had images for the first two albums. Like, I knew what I was going to do. No question was my favorite song. Still, clearly my favorite song in the grand scheme of things, although I did call another my favorite. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too hard. They put this out. It's the second song they did. I'd like kind of tried to listen to it a couple of times. It was a Wednesday. I was very busy at work. I presented for like 4 hours straight, and I hit this moment, and I was like, screw this. I'm working at home today. I'm taking a 5-minute break. I'm sorry if anyone from my work watches this and says I don't deserve 5 minutes to myself after presenting for 4 hours and making you a bunch of money. Too bad. I sit down. I've got surround sound set up. I turn it up all the way, And when I say all the way, I mean all the way. And like I'm listening, and it's so good. There's this single shot, like, and then there's this build up to this line where he says, "And I'm taken by the madness." And it's building and it's building, and the chorus is coming in. Like I'm getting chills right now. And he hits this huge moment, and he sings that line, and my brain is gone. It is in outer space. I literally did not know how to react. I laughed for the last 2 minutes, like hysterically laughed that there was a group this good in this day and age, and also laughing at myself that I'd ignored them. But oh my god, like this is the best song. While I am certain there is a lot of really really good to come, I would be surprised if the next list doesn't have Meeting the Master, because it's one of those things. It is so good. I cannot imagine what could be better. Maybe it's out there still. Maybe it's in their brains. Maybe it's on a demo. I don't know. But that's it. That's number one. Let's wrap this up, you guys. We've been doing this. Um, Thank you. If you are still here, thank you. That is insane. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, he probably learned how to end the video, right? You know how to end a video well now, right? Well, no.